program is the Active Center.
Let's dive right into this explainer. When you hear the word Anaheim, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably a famous mouse, maybe some churros and endless family vacations, right? But the truth is, beyond those theme parks lies a high-stakes, incredibly complex civic machine running a major American city. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain, look past the glossy tourism brochures, and really understand the illusion and the reality of a tourism superpower.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the tourism superpower, then head into the Anaheim engine room, followed by public safety and crime, the local reality, and finally, we'll tally up the final balance sheet.
Section 1, the tourism superpower. Let's look at the revenue and the resort facade.
Anaheim is home to Disneyland and massive convention centers, which basically guarantees a constant influx of visitors year-round. And that brings us to this staggering number, over $100 million. So what exactly does that represent? That is the transient occupancy tax, or as most of us know it, the hotel tax. In strong tourism years, this single tax injects well over $100 million directly into the city's general fund. I mean, it is absolutely the lifeblood of the city's municipal finance.
Think of the general fund as the city's main checking account, which usually sits somewhere around $270 to $300 million total. As you can see, that hotel tax is the undisputed leader, making up 40 to 50% of it, followed by sales and property taxes. The big takeaway here is a brilliant lesson in urban economics. Essentially, visitors sleeping in hotel beds are fundamentally paving the roads and funding everyday city services for the locals.
Moving on to Section 2, the Anaheim engine room. We're pivoting to jobs and civic life.
Disney might be the largest employer in the county, and definitely the one making the headlines, but the actual engine room of resident employment, it's surprisingly diverse. We're talking about major healthcare facilities like Kaiser Permanente and Tenet Healthcare. We've got deep-rooted aerospace manufacturing with Boeing, and we can't forget the massive public school districts. All told, the Anaheim economy employs roughly 175,000 people. So it's really not just bellhops and ride operators. It's nurses, engineers, and teachers keeping the entire city moving.
And it's not all concrete hotels and industrial zones either. The city's civic infrastructure actively maintains nearly 800 acres of green space. That translates to roughly 60 local parks, ranging from little mini parks to massive 27-acre community spaces. Plus, Anaheim's eastern edge bumps right up against major regional open spaces like the Cleveland National Forest. It provides a really crucial balance to the heavy urbanization you see in the resort and commercial districts.
The city also supports a massive educational footprint for families living in that engine room. There are well over 100 K-12 schools providing service within Anaheim's boundaries. This includes Oxford Academy, which consistently ranks not just in the top 10 public high schools in California, but within the top 100 nationally. Add to that immediate access to major higher education hubs like Cal State Fullerton just next door, and you have a very robust educational network.
Okay, Section 3, Public Safety and Crime. The true cost of the crown.
This one is pretty staggering when you think about it. Look at the city's total operating budget allocation. A massive 65% of the general fund is sliced out solely for public safety. That means police and fire rescue. That leaves just 35% for literally all other city services combined. Maintaining a safe environment for tens of millions of visitors requires an incredibly robust and frankly very expensive public safety apparatus.
To put that slice into perspective, that translates to roughly $181 million allocated to the police department alone. That's about 41% of the entire general fund. Just to manage the unique density, traffic, and challenges of the resort area, the city has to budget for roughly 370 to 390 sworn police officers. It is a massive financial commitment just to maintain baseline order in a city flooded with thousands of daily visitors.
The resulting crime data reveals a really unusual split. Overall, Anaheim's crime rate is elevated compared to state and national figures, but you have to look at the why behind it. Violent crimes are actually about 20% lower than the California average, but property crimes, those are sitting about 29% higher than the U.S. average. It's heavily concentrated in theft, shoplifting, and motor vehicle break-ins. Look, when you have major retail destinations and thousands of tourist rental cars packed with luggage, it unfortunately just creates a target-rich environment for property theft.
Section 4, the local reality. It's time to examine housing and disparities.
115,000. Why does this number matter? Well,
Remember that for a city economy supporting roughly 175,000 jobs, there are only about 115,000 residential housing units, and that includes everything: single-family homes, condos, and apartments. As you can guess, when your job market vastly outpaces your housing supply, you get a severe housing squeeze.
So what's actually driving this squeeze? It's a combination of intense forces. First, Anaheim is sitting in high-demand Orange County. Second, there's a serious lack of buildable land. And third, those resort-adjacent neighborhoods command a massive premium. It's a dynamic we see playing out behind the scenes in many massive resort towns. Ultimately, this creates a deep socioeconomic disparity. Lower-wage workers in the hospitality and retail sectors face severe challenges just finding an affordable place to live close to where they work.
Which brings us to our fifth and final section, the final balance sheet. Let's weigh the pros and cons.
The economic advantages of this model are, without a doubt, undeniable. Being a tourism superpower guarantees a massive, constant stream of tax revenue that funds the city. Anaheim also benefits hugely from a central Southern California location connected by major freeways. Plus, it's a major venue hub year-round with Angel Stadium and the Honda Center. And as we explored earlier, it maintains a surprisingly diverse secondary employment base in healthcare, manufacturing, and education. It really is an incredibly powerful economic machine.
But on the flip side, the economic disadvantages are equally stark. There is an extreme over-reliance on tourism. We saw this vividly during the 2020 pandemic shutdowns. An economy this highly sensitive to external travel shocks can literally see its revenue plummet overnight. Add to that the high local cost of living we just discussed, the heavy daily traffic congestion around the resorts, and the deep socioeconomic disparities between the high-income tourism sector and the surrounding residential areas.
So, I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. Do the massive financial rewards of being a tourism superpower actually outweigh the vulnerabilities of an economy that can halt overnight? When a city is structurally built around fantasy, how sustainable is the delicate balance required to maintain reality? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the mechanics behind the places we think we know.